hello, people. How are you all today? It is just joy today. Yay. Today I'm going to review. I got some folks hopefully going to pipe in because I'm waiting on to come in to review Beverly Hills last episode, which was season 13, episode 10. It was called Re-Lentless, Ericka. We're going to review that today. I'm waiting on Demisio to come in. He hasn't just yet, but I am going to go ahead and get started because I got an hour and he's going to have to pipe in when he pipe in. But anyway, today I wanted to talk. We're going to do a little bit of Beverly Hills. Like I said, this is season 13, episode 10. It's just me and Demisio. And we're going to start with, I'm going to try to do segments because that segments I noticed on Beverly Hills have been long. They're not, it doesn't feel rushed. It looks like they're taking their time doing these episodes. And I actually like that about Beverly Hills. Sometimes episodes feel rushed to me. These episodes sometimes are going on so long, you be like, when is this going to be over? But I didn't think so on this particular episode. How you doing today, Demisio?
I'm good, Joy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Pretty fair for a square, as my daddy would say.
Okay, girl. I agree with that, honey. Look, we alive, so I guess they got to count for something.
Okay, because there's a whole bunch that's not this morning. All right, so let's start with the first segment. This particular first segment is finishing off what we ended with last week, which was Crystal's Taco Tuesday. We've pretty much talked about the Garcelle and Dorit part, and we'll get to that in the next segment. But we're on what was going on between Denise and Ericka. What you think about that?
As I said last time, and I'll say it again. I agreed with Crystal. It again. I wish she start saying stuff in the moment.
Yes.
I don't understand what it is with her or why she. I mean, hopefully, well, I guess we'll see her later on this season with Anne Marie get into the mix. But I agree with Crystal in her confessional. Like it just goes to show that Ericka has not changed the one bit. Now, granted. Denise was like wrong in this situation, absolutely, and I love Denise, but it's like, girl, I'm gonna need you to tell the truth now. Like, I get it, Teddy and Rena are gone, so you don't have anybody really to go after, really. But like Ericka and really Kyle should be getting some of this. I keep
What
saying,
is
I
she
don't know.
really mad at? Because
I
it
feel like
really
she's
can't
mad
be.
about the Brandy stuff, but because Rena and Teddy, who were really the main ones egging the situation on, they're
Oh,
gone.
okay.
So like I guess she's shifting the focus off of that to that, even though that was a thing with the kids and the threesome at the table and all, that was a thing. But I really feel like she's still more mad about the whole Brandy situation, which
I
Dorit
wish she
kind of
would
said
say
that.
that. I wish she would say
Me
that
too,
because
because
it,
it's
it,
like,
it seems off to be true. I mean, I think the conversation, of course, was inappropriate around, any teenager talking about threesomes. But I mean, what Ericka said is the truth. I mean, if
yeah.
you're 13 years old and you got an iPhone and your mom ain't micromanaging you or bought that rabbit or whatever it is where you can, hi
Mhm.
Kai. Kai, you want to come on in? Um, Let me see. If you want to come in, I'll post it. Um, what was I saying, girl? I lost.
Micromanaging their
Oh, if you're not
phone.
micromanaging their social media or their phone, there's a couple of things you can buy where you mirror your child's phone.
Or do parental control.
Correct, but even that's difficult
Yeah.
because
Like,
you would have to um also have the code, and you got to give it to them at some point, because for updates to do here to download, it becomes so complicated.
Right.
The only thing you really can do, like for real, now if they are 8, yes, I would always have the code. But that's difficult when they're 12, 13,
Yeah.
15 years old.
Right. And like I said, I just wish she would just say what the real thing is. Because, like I
Yeah.
said, that was a thing during that season. It absolutely was. But again,
And it's a legitimate conversation. It's legitimate.
yeah. But Denise
Absolutely.
was lying, though. Like, girl, you were as well talking about that at the table with them, too. They showed the
Mhm.
flashbacks. But
Yeah.
at the same time, though, she did tell them, though, still in real time back then. And they showed that, too. She did say, you guys, hold on now. Like, my kids are at the other table. Like, she did say that. And they
Yeah.
did show that flashback. But again, like I said, I think Denise's real issue is still like the Brandy thing because they all were pretty nasty to her about that. All
Mm-hmm.
of them, excluding Dorit and Garcelle and
Mm-hmm.
Sutton. Those were the only three that didn't really. The Dorit stuck behind her and took her side. So did Garcelle. Sutton, I ain't gonna say Sutton took her side, but Sutton kind of like stayed out of it. Well, I will say she was kind of Team Denise because when it was all going on, Sutton did say like to Teddy, like, "Girl, are you more mad about what Denise said about Eric? What I mean, what Denise said
She
about
did
you,
say that. Yeah,
or
she
are you
did
more
say
mad about the threesome? Because what does that have to do with anything?" Son did
yeah.
say that. So
Yeah, it did make
I
sense.
feel like she just don't want to bring it up. And then, like I said, the main two people that I guess she really just don't really like that aren't there. So I don't know. It's just all like honestly, it's stupid. Really, it really could have been just left alone, child.
Right, right. Woo, well, I don't know. The conversation didn't make any sense. I will tell y'all this. When Ericka broke out with that who makes more money on OnlyFans, you or your daughter. I did know her daughter name to look her up and I ain't want to look her up, but they say that Denise, when I googled it, they saying that Denise makes $2 million a month. A month on OnlyFans. You think if I showed a shoulder or some feet or something, I get, I'll take a couple $100 a month. Like,
People
that's
do
insane.
people do like for real like people do like I mean there are people do have fetishes and stuff like that where it is
Well,
content
I know
creators out
that they do.
there,
Yeah.
you know,
I
they
watch.
only do stuff like that, like only post their feet only and still making a lot of money a month, 20, 30, $40,000 a month on
It's a
OnlyFans just
it's
showing
a
their feet.
lady. It's a lady on 90 Day Fiance that's on right now. She does feet. She's a foot model on OnlyFans. And she didn't say how much she makes, but that's her money. That's her job.
Mhm.
You got anything on this scene, Kyra?
No, I agree with you. I think Ericka is like the lesser evil of the whole Brandy kids thing because Ericka did say the whole like let if they're not doing it already, but it was to me nasty when Teddy and Kyle kept acting like Denise didn't have the right to have boundaries with their children. So to me, even if
Yes.
she was going to stay on the kids' part, to me that would be better to argue about. That like just because I was in one, I don't think just because their dad is their dad, that means they don't deserve the same protection from like age appropriate things as your children. So
Yeah.
to me, that's where she should have gone if she's going to do the kids thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And I
yeah.
do think it should have been aimed more at Kyle, but I feel like she went after Erica because Kyle was already just getting a lot from like two, three different people already. So maybe that's why she chose to go the Erica direction because it's like Kyle is already getting it from Sutton, Garcelle, and Dorit technically.
Mhm.
So maybe that's why she went the Erica route. And
What
Erica
did
has
y'all
been a
think?
popular one to go after within the last 2 years as well. So
What did y'all think about Kyle at the end saying, "I thought kids were off limits"?
Kyle, we already know this. I be on the YouTube street saying I cannot stand Kyle
me
because
either. I already
because
know that.
you know she only said that though for her to end up saying what she said in the end. Because the whole thing is Garcelle said her piece in the moment of like asking Niece, what do you want? Kyle waits until Ericka leaves, just kids are off limits. And so then when someone says, okay, then why don't you say that in front of your friend? Because also you're the closer friend to Ericka out of all of us. And then when someone asks you that question, instead of saying, you know what, you're right, or, it just came to my mind or something like that, you start spouting about how you are so upset no one stood up for you, which Dorit stood up for you. Faye stood up for
I
you.
was just gonna
Justice,
say that they actually did. That other girl, that other black, the new girl, she stood up with her as
and
well.
yeah, Anne Marie stood up for you. Ericka stood up for you, acting like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Even though Dorit and Ericka were sitting up in Vegas laughing about how much you were working out
I
too.
was just thinking that. That's what I came. That's what I thought when she said that. I said, when are kids off limits? I was like, because it sounded like to me they picking and choosing.
Oh,
They
they
do.
absolutely
They,
pick.
they
They
roast their opinion.
absolutely pick and choose. They sat
So
up
I
and
think
laughed
Kyle,
about
sorry.
Garcelle's kid getting cussed out, so like she can stop it.
Yeah, so I feel like to me, it just always proves to me how much Kyle is a me person. And she's always seeking attention because she thought she was going to say that everyone's going to agree. But then when she got pushed back, instead of actually answering it, then she starts twirling into no one stood up for me when the whole thing is at your dinner
Well,
party, people
that
did stand up for you.
that's the victim mentality.
Brooke Logan, as I like to
That's
call it, Brooke
really what Dorit's
Logan.
problem is. For real, we're gonna talk about that when we get to her scene. But that's really the issue: is that some people want to be the victim instead of dealing with what you should have been dealing with, which is why you waiting to say it now. You then want to turn the conversation to make yourself the victim. Nobody stood up for me. What about me? And that I hate when people do that. It's so irritating to me.
Me
Like,
too.
let's
That's why
deal with
I
one issue at
stand
a
Kyle.
time.
I can't stand Kyle because of that exact reason. It's just like she always has this. That's why I call her Brooke Logan because, again, if you don't watch The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan is actually just like Kyle. Like Brooke Logan is one of those type of people. She be in everybody else's business on the show, literally everybody else's business, passing judgment, always sticking her nose up to somebody. But let somebody come after Brooke for sleeping with everybody on the show and being an alcoholic and everybody else's business, then it's, oh my God, how
Mm.
could you say such a thing like that about me? How dare you? Kyle has that same mentality. She's always in somebody else's business, stirring the pot, asking questions that's going to get an argument started. Then soon the argument ensues. Oh my God, how did we get here? Like prime example at the Reese Toothless Not Homeless Foundation. Got that whole argument started between Renna and Sutton, and then when they got the arguing, screaming, everybody was like, "Who got this started?" Everybody, Kyle. Kyle was like, "Oh my God, well, I didn't know this was gonna happen." Girl, stop.
Yeah, that and she definitely is the victim. She's the victim, and that's really Dorit's issue for real.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next thing we move on over, and I don't know if we don't really have to say anything. Of course, they have a little snippet of what Garcelle is doing, trying to micromanage her son, who definitely who probably doing a do at 15, laying up in the bed watching TV.
I
That's
mean,
why
I
the brother wants
was
to be
at
at the dad's
15,
house.
so hey, I'm not gonna judge Jade, okay?
That's why they want. That's why the other one wants to be at the dad's house.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the one? So the curly hair one stayed with her, and the other
No,
one
they
stayed.
both
No,
stay
they
with
both stay.
her. They
Oh,
both stay with her. They just, the custody arrangement, I guess that they have.
okay.
They have to stay a certain amount of time at her house and a certain amount of time at
His
his
house.
house. Yeah,
But she's the primary giver, caregiver.
caregiver. Yeah, like
Okay,
they're with her probably majority of the time. I'm guessing.
I got you. Well, anyway, then they go to the next scene. They're going to, I don't know whose house that is. Is that Kyle's house? I don't know whose house. I think that was Kyle's house real quick. And then they go to Ericka and Dorit sitting down, kind of talking about the Taco Tuesday situation.
Right.
And
Can I
Ericka,
also say this? I'm
go
trying
ahead.
to figure out how did Anne Marie get full time because we ain't
I
seen
noticed that
her.
too. She wasn't at the Taco Tuesday, was she?
No, like I'm not
Something must happen
understanding.
later to get her because allegedly it's based off screen time. That's allegedly.
Maybe
It's
it's the cold crystal drama. It got to be in the sudden drama
yeah.
because
It has to
I
be. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
okay.
Because I remember specifically when Portia lost her peach in Atlanta, they asked why did she not get a peach and why did Claudia get a peach? Because that's the year that Claudia had a peach and Portia didn't. And Andy said it's based off of screen time. And because of what had happened with
Nene.
the people were trying to say that it was punishment because she had, that's the year after she
After she had, yeah.
pulled dragged Kenya. So that was that particular argument. But Ericka, here's a question. Because it seems like Ericka and Dorit had a conversation, and then Garcelle and
Sutton
Sutton
had the
had a
conversation.
conversation about the whole attack word. Because I really don't think it's the word attack. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
when she used it.
I believe Garcia. I feel like it's not necessarily the word attack. I just feel like it's so many things that have probably added up with the read. So it's just like at this point, girl, I'm really tired of you.
No, because the fact of the matter is, it wasn't an attack. That's why it wasn't an attack.
Right. That's the issue. It is that the words that Garcelle used when they actually sat down with a perfect words, she's not even conscious of her bias. Because if y'all go back to even when they were in Vegas and they were having,
so she acted up on the bus.
No, I ain't even talking about that.
Oh.
I'm talking about the next day. Garcelle had told the group of ladies that she didn't feel, she was kind of iffy about how, them laughing at her son. First of all, somebody, and I want to say it was Dorit, she said, get over it.
Yes, she did. It's been a year, Garcelle.
Yeah, one. And then when they kind of had, now she didn't even have to say nothing. Most everybody else didn't. Most people would have just said, I think that her feelings, she had a right to have those feelings. Because I would never trust none of them twitches who thought it was funny that somebody cussed out my son, drunk or not. And it ain't even like, it was like they were laughing at Ericka. That's what it didn't feel like. I can understand if they was like, oh my gosh, she was so drunk. It felt like they were laughing at the son.
Yeah.
Dormicio even said, I'm glad she did that. And I'm like, why?
Wait, huh?
Mauricio.
Oh, girl, you gonna
I always do that. Mauricio, when it was a scene with, it was like the next day, and it was Dorit and her husband, Kyle and her husband, and they were having a conversation, and they were telling what happened, and Mauricio laughed at it. So it didn't feel like they were laughing at Ericka. I really can't understand. Watching drunk people can be funny, although they may do bad things, but it's fun. They were laughing at the kid.
Yeah.
That was the issue. That was so strange to me. And then the women were laughing at what he was saying.
But I think the problem is really, and I think Ericka is trying to not be biased, but she sees like what Garcelle is saying. But I think the problem is Dorit tries to cosplay as a smart person instead of being smart.
Yes. No, and I think she's a victim. She when things don't go her way, see, Dorit is the type. I wonder what her sign is. She thinks she's smart and she thinks she can out talk people. And I think that she's learning watching the show that people are irritated by her talking.
Yes.
Like that's a running thing. And see, she thinks she can out talk herself out of things. And when it doesn't go her way, and it hasn't gone her way on several occasions with Garcelle, and because Garcelle is a quick wit, she's not mean, but she has a quick wit. And because she does, she has to make herself the victim. Oh, you're yelling at me when nobody's yelling. Why are you attacking me when nobody has attacked you? The problem, that's really the issue. She's making herself the victim and accusing Garcelle of something. And she only does it with her. She didn't do it with Sutton when Sutton was literally berating her, telling her to give her an example. I can't remember what she kept saying.
Why did you say it?
Yeah, why did you say it? Why did you say it? She badgering her, like literally. And she even yelled and said, I'm trying to, you won't let me talk. But my point is, she didn't see that as an attack. But when she asked Garcelle a direct question and she answered, I felt like you said that to embarrass her. That's an attack?
That's why I'm kind of over everyone, even Ericka, talking about. I don't think she's doing it because to me, we talked about this before. I feel like if you're a person of a homogenous group and something happens to you, you have a right to kind of genuinely handle it the way you want to. And I've said before, Garcelle has been quote unquote not playing the race card, which I hate that saying. She's been letting go. Like how many seasons have people been saying that Garcelle, we don't like you because you don't like Dorit has done X, Y, and Z, and you need to handle her.
Correct.
So now that she's handling her, everyone's acting like, oh my god, she's pulling the race card. I'm like, no, like
That is
Sutton had her issue.
agitating the
Yeah,
shit
Sutton
out
had
of
her
me
not the
issue.
race
on
card.
social media.
Yeah,
That
It's
is
not the race
agitating
card.
me.
yeah.
Yes. So like
It's literally microaggressions, and it's just like this is the reality. White folks have seen us through a certain lens, like forever, and unless you're around a lot of Black people, there are microaggressions. That's why she said it's an unconscious bias, because there are microaggressions that you may not even realize that you're doing. The problem that I have was Dorit, that she doesn't have the conscious to self-correct. And then she does stupid things like double down and says, I enjoy my bubble. When then if something is wrong, then if you're like,
it's purposeful then.
I couldn't have another conversation with her. I couldn't have another conversation with her. I would ignore her. I would pretend like she didn't exist. And every time she asked me, I would respond, because you like your bubble.
Yeah,
I would say that every time she leaned over at me, because you like your bubble. I'm going to let you stay in your bubble, because it's not her job to educate her. I'm 100% with her on that. Grow up.
I kind of get tired of people acting like, well, Sutton had her issue, which again, I'm from Georgia. I know a white Southern lady, okay? But I feel like to me, there's a difference in the fact that we saw Sutton make a mishap, and we've seen her publicly apologize to Crystal for opening her up to what happened the first season. They have conversations, they work on a relationship behind the scenes, and we see it on the show. Dorit has had issues every 4 seasons that Garcelle has been on, and we have not seen any progression. I'm not saying that you grew up and you're not going to make mistakes if again, as you said, you grow up in this lens, in this bubble. But the fact that we have not really seen you make any advancements, and that's why I don't want to skip ahead, but it seems like you have not made any advancements. And also the problem is every time Garcelle comes to you with an issue, you somehow, some way, that makes me feel bad. Instead of addressing what she's saying and then saying, you know what, I really didn't mean to do that.
Her, she makes herself the victim. That's literally the same thing. She's
just this one is rooted in microaggression.
Yes.
Kyle's is childhood trauma, that kind of stuff. But Dorit, it's microaggression. Because to me, I'm I'm sorry. It's also not a happenstance. All of a sudden, you also pop up on Instagram with this Black girl all of a sudden.
Right.
I put baby, they was having a field day with my comment under that post, honey. Because I commented under that.
When did she post it?
It was right in the midst of that, and I had come in. And I was like,
the middle Black
showing that not Dorit trying to prove she got friends that's of color, honey, and they was having a field day in that comment.
Yeah. So she did the 2 bubble posts, and then all of a sudden she popped up with this random Black girl that we never seen. And not for nothing, you can go on Sutton's Instagram, and there's all kinds of people from all different ways of life that she's been friends with, and they just be chilling and hanging out. Mr. Reed, you've been on this show for how many years? And it does seem like Never. And then the first time you see your interaction with Garcelle, because even with Ericka, I feel like Ericka also cosplay as a Black woman at a time that still bothers me. And obviously they have their own issues that they need to work through. But just to me, it just gives me insidious, because I feel like she does it on purpose. The way she talks to Garcelle, the way she says Garcelle's name multiple times, to almost catch her attention as a child.
Ooh.
It is.
And let me be clear, I like Sutton, but Sutton has said things to me that were off.
Yes.
She said some things to me that were off. But I think the difference between Sutton is she's a type that I think she genuinely likes Garcelle. Whether or not they're besties, I don't know. But I think she generally likes Garcelle. And I think that, or she appears to.
No, I think she does. I don't think she would be with her as much off camera if it was just for show type of thing, because they're together all the time. So,
okay,
and it's not always filmed either.
Yeah, no. Sutton went to go visit Oliver without Garcelle because she was in Vegas and we just go check on Oliver.
Okay,
literally.
So if that's the case, then she appears then it's genuine. And even when she said things, Garcelle can say things and she's not offended by it. Like you get to learn people and meet them where they are.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I just don't feel like Dorit is even trying. Like in the
She's
mere
not.
fact, and the mere fact that she said that she likes her bubble, that was her tweet last week. I couldn't have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
No, it's over. It's a
First of
wrap.
all, I would be
Because
in.
you've already told me that you're I've told you about your microaggressions and you're saying that you're comfortable there. So I'm gonna leave you there.
Yeah, like I would be too. Dorit would make me too infuriated, and I would be then damn near probably slap Dorit.
She'll take you out of yourself.
Yeah,
And let
like
me
she
say
would
this.
make you want to like literally like confront her like for real, like girl, like you got one more time for real.
And there has been argument in reality TV, like from Basketball Wives when they talked about what's her name? OG, for example, and they were
Yeah,
saying that she was aggressive. Let's be crystal clear. OG was aggressive. The problem is they also didn't call what's her name aggressive.
Yeah,
right.
Evelyn,
The
Yeah,
Evelyn, who
who was
is
throwing bottles at
the
people's
most
heads.
aggressive person on that show. So,
I
I
agree.
mean, that girl jumped over a table to
Yeah,
attack somebody. So that's really the issue is that aggression is aggression.
yeah, and
You
when you
can't
can't punk somebody
you can't
either, especially
exactly
over there.
correct. And
Yeah,
if my thing is if a person is being aggressive, even if you don't like the term, it is what it is.
yeah,
But that just wasn't the case with Garcelle. She was not yelling at her and she did not attack her. But you want to paint her that way because that's really what it's about.
yeah.
That's how you see me in it. I would F her up in her head. That's the kind of stuff I would say.
Yeah.
It was a lady that I work with. Oh, she hated me. Ooh, she hated me. When she retired, she's probably said bye to everybody but me. But I used to tell her, first of all, I don't think you should be working with black children to her face.
Ooh.
I mean, and I meant it, and I would say
Mm-hmm.
it again over and over again. People like her are dangerous because she thinks very low of black
Yeah.
people. And you should not be in front of them, especially not children. And I kind of got her moved off our floor. And that's really what ticked her off because I'm like, y'all sitting up here tiptoeing around this lady who's the newest to our department, and they had to figure out one of us had to go upstairs. I was like, why is that a question? She should go. I'm like, and some people just aren't afraid. I'm not afraid to tell people to their face. I
Yeah.
don't care how you feel about it.
And that's like kind of an issue that I kind of have with Garcelle, but I'm gonna wait till we get to that scene to say it.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing that we're gonna talk about before we get to that one is the sisters, the Richards. When her and her sister were talking, what y'all think about that? And they were basically talking about Kathy and making amends. I thought it was kind of sad. I'll just say
Yeah, me too. I feel like honestly, I'm tired of Kyle using Kim as a puppet. I don't think that this show is very conducive for Kim's sobriety.
oh
And it is sad. I do love that Kim is trying to be like the level-headed one and
yeah.
trying to put them back together. It is nice to see, but I feel like Kyle needs to bring it down a few notches and come off that little high horse that she's on because girl, you're equally as wrong in this situation as Kathy. Just like you feel like Kathy owes you an apology, you owe her an apology too. Because number one, you shouldn't even bring Lisa Ren over there to your house last. That should have been a you and Kathy thing. Well, I'm like, I did agree with Kathy when she was like, I could have called Lisa on the phone. Why did I have to do this on camera? Like Lisa wanted a moment, and you basically allowed that to happen. You yet again with another sister allow your group of friends to come after her and then do anything about it. Really, you let it happen for the second
And
time in a row.
she didn't. Did Lisa go into details then in the
No.
scene with Kat? I know she did at the reunion, but did she go in detail about
Mm-mm.
what she said in front of Kyle?
No.
No, not at Kyle's house. No,
Yeah,
she
it was.
just
I
said that
know she did
Kathy
at the
said
reunion.
a
Yeah.
lot of things and they were nasty and stuff like that. But I was glad that Kathy paid her dust back then. I was so happy about that because girl, bye. Like
I will say this. I think all of those girls, it seems like Kim was the breadwinner. That's pretty clear. And everybody was riding on Kim's coattail. That's also very clear. And although Kyle was doing things, Kathy left them really young. She got married
At like
really,
19 or
yeah,
18 or something like
19 or
that.
20. She was young. And Kyle was probably like 12. She was not that old when Kathy got married. I don't even think, maybe she was 14, 13, something like that. She wasn't 17
Yeah.
because Kim had been working since she was a little girl. Because my mother said that they watched them. She was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Mm-hmm.
That was wildly popular. And she was in a million movies.
Yep.
And Kyle
Um,
got a little work, but Kathy married rich.
Yeah.
So it seems like that she played a mother role. If you remember, Kyle would be cursing and Kathy would correct her.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
she
but I
was
feel like I
mother.
said, Kyle owes Kathy an apology as well. Like we're not gonna. It's like it's not all on Kathy. Like you owe her an apology too, Kyle, because you've done this before. So and then, like I said, it's just shown again, time and time again, that you're gonna let your friends do your family any kind of way. Like yes, she was speaking up a little bit more than she did for Kim, but it was the fact that Kyle still didn't shut it down. She was still allowing it to happen. She was still allowing Lisa Rinna to go on this crusade against her sister, even though Kathy shut her down at the reunion, honey. It's still the point of you let it
I
get that
didn't like
far.
that it was so much that we couldn't verify. I mean, I definitely believe she said that stuff at this point.
I feel
But
like she said the stuff. I feel like the stuff that she said about Kyle was true, but I don't think she said the other stuff about Crystal now. No, but do I think she said the
oh,
stuff about Cal?
oh.
Absolutely.
Can I speak my speech? Because
Yeah.
I feel like this was a setup. Kyle had Kim come over and she just happened to be wearing this hummingbird necklace and then start the story about the mom and how the first season when that
Mhm.
happened and when she told the world Kim was an alcoholic, then a hummingbird was dead by her and that's when she got it. It felt like a setup. And I'm
Mhm.
like, did we all forget that Kathy apologized to Kyle already? So it's
Mhm.
wild to watch Kyle act like it wasn't what she did during the shows, what happened after. Your sister apologized to you after being ambushed by your friend who was setting up your sister. Because I'm sorry, regardless, I would not be going on TV when I know it wasn't recorded, going off about how my friend's
That's
sister
what's
was like that don't make no
yeah.
sense. That does not make any sense. And instead of shutting it down, you were weeping and whining and letting Sutton and Garcelle actually stand up for your sister, not you. And then when
Hello.
the reunion came, after Kathy apologized and dealt with Ericka and Rinna, talking about racism, she said the N word, the F word. She told Crystal all this random stuff that was leaked, the things that weren't leaked, the things that were leaked, all this kind of stuff. Houston at the reunion, weeping and crying, all this kind of stuff. Won't even let Dorit say, "Hey, can you listen to her?" And you are wondering why your sister was mad after the fact because Hefa, I already apologized to you, and you're letting your friends still run with it. And
Yeah.
now we come here, and you're acting like none of that happened. And my thing is, I've always said I believe Kathy went off. I don't believe like the F thing and the N thing. I believe Kathy went off about her sister because that makes sense. The other stuff don't make no sense. But her going off about Kyle when she didn't leave with her, that makes sense. But instead of you handling that, you instead allowed your friends to play puppets with the fact matter is it felt like that whole season you were setting up Kathy to look embarrassed. You were talking about how she wasn't dressed for Aspen. Oh my God, look at the bag she's wearing, putting her in the bunker and all this kind of stuff. There was a lot of stuff that led up to that blow up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of acknowledging all of that, you sat up there and acted like you just don't know where Kathy was upset with you. And even Kathy said, you know what? Me getting upset at the tequila tasting hat place, she's like, that was my fault. I had expectations, and that's not on you. That was my fault. And I put that in my head. But Kyle acts like no one takes accountability for everything. And so she's just the perfect person. And someone's done something so terrible instead of you both have parts. Sometimes it's someone else's fault more than other, but you both have parts. And Kyle never acknowledges that. And now
Never.
you're on this season acting like Kathy's just so terrible. But now in real time, you're up in Kathy's face because you need her now.
Yeah.
Yep. You hit the spell on. That's why I said in the beginning of the scene when she asked me my opinion, I want her to stop using Kim. Like I said, the show is not conducive to her sobriety at all. Like, I just need her to
But
stop.
I'm just saying, now all of a sudden Mauricio and Kyle are like, in Splitsville, and now she's as close to Kathy as ever. I'm like, well, then it seems like the rumors were true about your husband stealing business from your brother-in-law. Because you
I
and
think
Kathy have
that was
never been this
always
close.
pretty
Is
clear.
that what Kim was talking about when she was like, who is the certain people?
I don't know. That was weird too. Like, why would you ask your sister who's married who's she bringing to your daughter's wedding?
I thought that was
Oh yeah,
so strange to me.
yeah.
When she was like certain people, I was like, is
I
she
think
talking
the sisters
about
do not like Mauricio like that because if you remember in earlier seasons, Kim would never call Mauricio's name correctly.
what did they call it?
She would call him like Mo, like she would call him something else. She would not call him his name. And then obviously Kathy and Kyle didn't speak for 10 years, and like he wasn't invited to Nikki's wedding, all this kind of crazy stuff. So I'm just saying, like,
I
that's why I just like
heard somebody was talking about that. Was that
I think
you?
I told you. I think about how to me it feels
Hmm.
like Kyle is a little sister who wants to be praised for not for nothing, but for doing the bare minimum that her other sisters have done. Like Kim has been the star and she's married oil. Kim has married better than Kathy at times. Okay,
Oh,
Kim, Kim had married better than Kathy. Her first husband
uh-huh.
was an oil baron family.
Oh, okay.
So to me, it's like she wants praise for doing the things that her sisters have already done. And so
Well,
when you
maybe
see
she's always been in their shadow. That would make sense
that
because
makes sense.
Kim married Hilton, and her sister was a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
guess she gets on this
yeah.
show, and but the show's actually not even supposed to be about Kim. The show was only greenlit because Kathy and Kim were supposed to be on it, and they still got Kim. And I just feel like she like lambasted her sisters for being who they are, while at the same time trying to be them, which doesn't make any sense. And then you are saying like
Say that
Kathy's so
again.
like she makes fun of and lambasts her sisters for being the way they are, while also at the same time trying to be them.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, I can see that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo!
I,
That's what you
like
think, Theo.
a lot. I mean, like I said from the beginning, I don't think it's conducive for Kim's sobriety. I do appreciate Kim for trying to be the mediator between the two of
Do
them.
you
But
think it's justified?
what?
Kyle's feelings.
I mean, yeah, but no at the same time, because at the end of the day, Kyle still played a part in it. Because, like I said, this is literally the second time that you have allowed your group of friends to making clown out of your sister, or try to, anyways. It's just at this point, it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Period. Point blank. And like Kyra said, at this point, like Garcelle and Sutton were the ones defending your sister when it should have been you.
Wasn't that weird? What I think don't they still hang out with Kathy?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes,
well, I know Kent. We knew Sutton does because that's why I kind of wondered.
Garcelle do too.
I
Kathy was at Garcelle's birthday party that Sutton threw. It was only a few of them.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So
Well,
yes, they are
I
still very
know that the
close.
Richards grew up. I do have to remind myself of this. But the Richards grew up literally next door to the Jacksons. They were celebrity friends. So they didn't grow up in a bubble, so to speak. A rich one, a different kind of bubble, but not a racial one.
I mean,
Because
that
well, I
still didn't
mean,
stop them from saying stuff over the years, but
did they
are
say
getting married. Oh yeah, I mean, parents have had issues. Kyle and married Mauricio. Mauricio's mom be all over the internet talking crazy.
yeah, his
That's what we
parents
don't
have
see as
said
much.
like the N word and all of that
in a
in
in
a
what they think
public
is a white
setting.
cool kind of way, or
No, I mean, no. I think just saying it, period. And
I agree. Oh,
she
I
didn't
hundred
say
percent agree with that.
it.
But some white people have to be told that because see, they think they cool, so
No,
they
she said
think
it with
they
the ER.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
they
His
don't.
son had said some things. Kyle married. Again, I'm gonna keep my foot on Mauricio's mother's neck. So also, she's married Mauricio and his little racist family. So yeah, hmm
His family is racist.
the mother-in-law talking about how she is not Mexican, she is white. Donald Trump, this red, white, and blue. I don't believe in people of color. The blacks.
But she Mexican.
Well, no, his family's technically Lithuanian. They are part of when there was refugees who had to go to Mexico. That's why he's Jewish.
From where?
Like Lithuania,
Okay.
somewhere around Eastern Europe.
Okay.
That's why his last name is Umansky. That's not South American or even like Spanish.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say it's depending on them. I hate to say this would be a stereotype, but in my head, Europeans that stay closer to like Russia in those areas,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different. That's it. I guess that's Eastern. That's
Yeah.
Eastern Europe. Europe.
Mhm.
They tend to have a more harsh view of black people versus white people that have moved because like there are white Muslims that aren't like that, but we know that they're European Muslims. They're not like that. That hasn't been my experience. At least I'll say that much. I work with even a lot of children and their parents. That's how I'm judging it by.
Mhm.
But my sample is small, of course. But yeah, but them Eastern Europeans are a trip that I've encountered.
That's
Have been
okay.
a trip, but it is what it is. But
Um,
anyway, we can go to the next scene, which is
Which wasn't even much.
but it was, I thought I wanted to talk about this, and that's just what Crystal said. It's Crystal and her husband having a conversation. I did think it was cute how she talked a little bit about how they mix their cultures because they're so different, Judaism, and I thought she was Japanese.
like the Chinese.
Actually Chinese.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought she was Japanese. I have to tell y'all off.
This season 11, they celebrated the Chinese New Year.
They
They a
did.
whole
You're
party.
correct. You're correct. You're
Yeah.
correct. You're right. You're right.
I did
What
agree with Rob though.
I
Like,
have to
girl, I love actually her and Rob's relationship. Even though we don't really see a lot of Crystal, I do appreciate the few scenes that we do get because you can tell that her and Rob, as far as what they come off on camera, you can tell her and Rob actually love each other for real. Like you can tell that,
Yeah.
that to me, their relationship looks genuine. Like it's not like
were they wealthy? Crystal.
I think when she met Rob, he was wealthy.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you know he was. The
Oh no, I
Lion
don't think
King.
she was.
I mean, I don't think she was impoverished, but
Yeah,
But isn't her brother like a pop star or something?
yeah,
okay.
he
I need to look
is.
at this because I'm an anime, manga, 20 K-pop, C-pop girly. I have never heard of this brother, so I need to get into this because
Mhm.
I've never heard of this
I
brother.
don't listen to K-pop, so I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I
I
don't
just
listen.
But I mean, they've shown clips and stuff like that, so I mean, it seems like he
yeah,
got some
but
type of fan
I
base.
mean, he can have some type of fan base. Like, also, how old are these photos? Like Denisio, and in that world, a group they could spend $1 million on a group and disband that group in a month.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think she's the most wealthiest
Of
It,
everybody,
no,
that's on.
no, not Sutton.
Who?
it's
Not
I
Sutton.
often say yeah, it's Sutton. Sutton would be the wealthiest out of this particular cast. Like by
I
herself.
don't think Sutton is more wealthier than him. I'm talking about him.
Crystal. Oh, him. I still think
That's why I
so.
was saying her. I meant Crystal, meaning like her family. I
Oh
don't
no,
think
Oh,
then
her
Sutton. It's
husband.
Sutton. It's Sutton.
It still will be Sutton. Her
you
husband
think
still,
so.
her ex-husband still is like almost a billionaire. He got like almost $500 million.
What
Yeah,
did you say? So
he.
y'all, I'm gonna look her up. What her
And like I said, she's still getting child support
That's
on
not child
on
support. She gets
huh?
spouse support, child support, and like all the other businesses.
Yeah.
The only thing is like for Sutton, like you're not gonna be finding out how much information like her ex, but no,
it say $50 million
who
for Sutton.
Sutton's lifestyle is more than $50 million.
What's Crystal husband name?
Rob Minkoff.
Yeah, Sutton's lifestyle is more than $50 million.
How do you know this?
I mean, look what she
I'm not
wears.
going.
Like
Yeah, what she wears, the horses she buys, how she was renting out Kyle's house for $16,000 a month while she bought another property and was renovating from the ground up, all that kind of stuff. No.
I mean, she get $300,000 a month.
but that's just
Oh,
only
well, he's
child
saying he's
support.
worth 30 million.
I'm gonna say
So
that's only child support though. You got to count in the spousal support that she
That's
got get too.
that is the spousal support. So the child support is something else. The spousal support is the $300,000 after taxes.
Oh, okay. So she
how
get
much is
that's
it
the
before taxes?
Yes, exactly. And that's not yeah. So no,
and then
no.
she still have assets. She still like got the baseball team.
Because
Like
it's
she
at
still got
least
all that.
30%. Her taxes on something like that, she is at least paying. Let me calculate that. So she's getting 300,000 a month. I'm gonna say plus 30%. Oh, okay. It's just 390. But that
That's 400,000 basically, an extra 100,000.
yeah.
Yeah, I just it her
She get
lifestyle is.
$3 million a year just for I don't know how many years of torture or whatever it was with
They
them.
were together since they were like 13.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They were
That's
like yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, she still have one minor son that hasn't graduated college. I mean high school yet.
yeah,
So
I know. I think that was part of the thing that she couldn't show.
yeah, she can't show him, but she can show the other
Yeah,
two.
right.
Like we've seen the daughter, we've seen Porter, and I forgot what the other son. And let me
Yeah.
just say this: Porter looked exactly like Sutton. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
How do you know their names?
She's on the show.
I can
I
see
mean,
her.
I saw them, but I couldn't. Girl, gun to
Well,
my
we don't
head. I
remember the
couldn't
son's
tell you
name.
their name.
I don't know the son's name. Denise, don't know the son. We know the girl's name, but we've seen her the most because also she's the oldest, so she's been on the show longer.
Wait, say it again, Kyra.
But we know the daughter's name, but we don't know the son's name
Yeah, because he
Oh,
hasn't been on as much as like the
I
because
thought
daughter has
you
been
said
he
on.
just
Porter.
turned 18.
I
Yeah,
thought you said Porter.
Porter is the girl.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
yeah,
It's like she's been on like a few times more than I think we've only seen the oldest son like once, and that was when he was like getting ready to go to college. But we've seen like Porter several times, like since Sutton has been on the show. She's had a few scenes, so that's the only reason why I know her name.
Mm, yeah, I guess.
But yeah, but like I said, I did enjoy their little scene. I did agree. I do like how Rob is supportive of Crystal. Like you need to speak up more, girl. Like you got a lot of opinions, honey. You just need to say them, and I do agree with that. Like
Yeah, that's the part that I wanted to talk about
mhm,
specifically. That conversation she was having her husband about her not speaking up, and she does have a lot of opinions, and she be right on it. That's what makes it so bad. Like Crystal, in my opinion, would be top notch housewives if she would say the things that she says in confessionals to her.
mhm.
Like we would still be championing her as she told Kyle in real time, girl, you just got sober 5 minutes ago.
I would have
Now you over here.
lived if she would have
We
yeah.
will
told her
be
that.
still talking about that. And
Oh, baby, trust
she's
and
done that
believe. And if she would
repeatedly.
have said that in real time, honey, that would have started a whole nother can of worms, baby.
Yeah.
Because
She,
Kyle wouldn't have let that go. And I believe it's going to be talked about at the reunion, too.
it definitely should
Good.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
but she
should
said a
be.
lot in her confessional, so I can definitely see them bringing that up at the reunion, baby, because they've said it in real time on the show. Dorit has, I know, she
Yeah.
said it at Taco Tuesday, like Crystal starting shit, and it's like, are you
Oh
mad because
yeah.
she told Son what you said? You
Yeah.
said that, like
Right.
she didn't get nothing wrong. You
She did
said
say that. Yeah.
what you said, so like, girl, stop it. Stop trying to make it seem like Crystal is being delusional here. No, the only one being delusional here is you, sweetheart.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But it's just like they were trying to form an alliance with her. And you know,
I feel like after last season, Crystal is done trying to appease to those white women. I think she sees after last season and them with invalidating her feelings and the whole dark situation and all that. I think she now sees that they don't really like me like that. So let me go on over here
and
where
Kyle went off on her about that too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
he
just
told
like child. And that's the only time that they have ever had Sutton's back, really, when she was going up against Crystal. And that's because they did, especially Kyle. They
mm,
dislike Crystal even more than they dislike Sutton. Crystal's just a little bit more quieter than Sutton, so we
mm,
don't really see them going after her as much because
mm,
she don't really say a lot, really, unless you're directly saying something to her. So,
yeah, yeah.
because
I
they can't stand Crystal, like I said, especially Kyle. They don't like her.
I it's not that I don't like her. I just don't think um mixing millennials and Gen X
I
is
mean, they do it
always,
on Potomac.
they do, but they do. You're right, because both Candace and it's just not successful. I've been watching it in other shows like Basketball Wives. The original Basketball Wives came back, and they have like Brittany Renner with these other ladies, and it's not a good mix, like, at all. And I don't mean as entertained. The thought process is different. the
I
the
know. Yeah.
thought process is just different. I'm not saying that I'm right or they're wrong, although I think I'm right. I just I the thought process is different. What's important, millennials come from a place where they fight and think later, where if you're in Gen X at this point, we of a certain age, we too old to be fighting one. Our mouths is big, like we will fight, but you're actually gonna hit me. That's like a problem. Like you really gonna hit me. Like you're not predictable. And that's how Crystal comes at them verbally in ways that our thought processes are different. Because what you think is dark is minor to me. It's silly almost. Why is that important to you? Why was saying that Sutton noticed that there was a black child, a white child, a Chinese child in a pool, and that's how America? How is that dark?
Yeah.
And the thought process is different because that still don't make sense to me. And
It's
now
don't to me
if
either.
she said a little darky, a ching chong, or something offensive like that, I could see them saying that. I could see her saying that's offensive. That's not what she said. She said a black child, a white child, and an Asian child. That's how, I don't, whatever. It was just crazy to me. And she
Mm-hmm.
stands on it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
She stood on it. That's how the situation ended. All right, let's move on over. Real quickly, Sutton and this date. Did y'all want to say anything about it?
No.
Okay, that was a better date. I
But
feel.
yeah, fun, fluff. We need a little bit of it, but
Yeah,
not
it
too
was a
much.
better date. Yeah,
Son
yeah.
didn't like him.
He first of all was. I don't know. I'm not necessarily attracted to older white men, but he seemed together. Like I wouldn't do a double take, but I sure wouldn't say he's unattractive.
No, I'm just saying I don't think she'd like the date though. I don't think she think he was ugly. I think I mean she said he talked about his mom and all that. I just don't think she liked the date.
No, this is a different guy. Remember, they set her up with another guy. That guy wasn't talking about his mama. He
Oh, okay,
was
okay.
he was in sales. He was a regular guy. He had on a he looked his dress was appropriate. He was neat. He was clean. He wasn't talking crazy. He made jokes. Um, because that's the one that the dating lady critiqued for her based off his responses. Because remember, he was making jokes, and Sutton was like, "Huh?" I don't think they weren't landing with her.
Yeah.
So he seemed like he was a little bit more playful. And Sutton is silly. But
Yeah.
anyway, the next scene is Garcelle and Dorit sitting down. What y'all think about that scene? And them kind of
Whew.
going backwards
Who
and
want to
forth.
go
There's
first,
so much
child?
to unpack. I'll go. I'll wait.
I'll go first then.
Go ahead.
So I personally feel like the read is still not getting it, and I don't think she's ever gonna get it. I also think she was weaponizing the Jewish community to try to make a point. Like, don't try to bring up being Jewish as some kind of kinship to Garcia when you know when you walking down the street, ain't nobody thinking about you being Jewish unless you just specifically like state that. Like you and Garcelle have not, will not, and will not ever experience the same things in life because she's black and you're a white woman that likes to cosplay as a Latino woman. Like that's just what it is. And that's exactly what Garcelle was saying that she was crying over it because whenever she talks to Dorit, she flips it and attempts to act offended at being called out on her blatant microaggressions. Now, I will say this about Garcelle. Though I do think she was like kind of spot on with what she had to say to Dorit, and I do like that she finally just went ahead and said it by saying she was unconscious Karen. But I do think Garcelle missed an opportunity and didn't land the plane like she really could have landed the plane because there are multiple instances where she could have expressed about Dorit being microaggressive outside of when they were having the conversation about the people of color being help at her home. It was many other times she could have rung up at Lisa Rinna's Lip Kit event, the Vegas incident when they were on the
What happened at
bus.
the Lip Kitty event? Remind
She
me.
called her a bully.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
forgot. You're right.
So
That's another example.
it's like
Yes,
she could
you're
have
right.
said many other things, and I feel like Garcelle plays it a little too safe for me
Yeah,
instead of just letting it out. Like, why do you have to say it in confessional? She does a crystal a lot too, but like I said, she can't land the plane
yeah.
like directly and blatantly in they face. You feel what I'm saying? And
I
then I think
tweeted
her
her, by the way.
yeah, and then her proximity to whiteness, as long as she's been around a bunch of white women, I think has detached her from
Is
being
she
able to
Latino?
explain it. Who?
Who's Latino?
No, I said Dorit likes to cosplay
Oh,
as a Latino woman. But yeah, I think Garcelle's the proximity to whiteness has like detached her from being able to blatantly explain it and blatantly say it because she
Well,
knows what microaggressions are. She knows what it are and she knows how to call it and explain it, but I don't think she knows how to do it just, I think she still tries to say it but without saying it to make it seem like I'm calling you a racist. That's why I was like, I did like when Dorit was like, "Are you trying to say that I'm racist?"
I
And
didn't like
Garcelle was
that.
like, "I'm not labeling you." She's like, "But that's kind of what it feels like." And I love so much when she was like, "Well, if it has racist undertones, that's not my fault."
right.
I love that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But
And
I do. Go ahead, Kyle.
no, I think that's a part of the problem of like talking about like, oh, Garcelle can explain, but she hasn't yet. Garcelle did explain microaggressions last year at the reunion. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Instead of Dorit taking it in, her response was, Garcelle, do you think anyone here on the stage is racist? Every time Garcelle comes to her about, hey, this is kind of microaggressive. This seems like just like something like ignorance. Instead of Dorit like really just handling that, she always then in turn then instead of handling it, tells her acts as Garcelle. You think I'm racist?
and
Mm-hmm.
did
Which
y'all
then
peep
throws it
how
off.
Garcelle was the only one that acknowledged the waiter?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
People have notated that about how like she doesn't really, which I've never really seen her be like that courteous to people of service when you
Mm-hmm.
think about it. But yeah, every time Garcelle has this conversation, it feels like I kind of like she can't win for losing because my thing is if she is like starting with it, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, the race car, da 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 da. If she's like giving people grace and the opportunity to make mistakes and grow, she's not handling it right. She's not getting it. I feel like she's been trying to find her balance, and I feel like she's been able. I feel like it's. I feel like to me, she shows she's not trying to get stuck into it because she's been able to move on with Kyle. Her and Kyle have other issues. They still fighting all the kind of stuff. But when the money thing happened, regardless if you agree with it or not, she talked to Kyle about it and they moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very interesting that Dorit instead has had multiple conversations and we seem to never be able to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says instead, Garcelle, you do know I'm Jewish. Ma'am, if you have to tell me that, that means that you know you can hide it. If
Yeah.
you have to tell me that, that means you know you get to walk around and people question or guess at it and not being upfront. And so when Garcelle says, like,
What?
Dorit, you know your privilege. You know your privilege. And instead of Dorit, swallowing that, and because Garcelle has explained privilege already before in the last 4 seasons, and instead of taking that in, she
She
said,
said that Crystal was a millennial sweetheart.
what? Wait, what?
I'm
What?
reading the comments. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
That's what I
um,
was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Kyle, everybody else is Gen
It's
X.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else is Gen X. That's the
yeah, no,
difference.
it's
Crystal
50s.
is the only millennial. And a lot of times those mixes aren't. It's not that it's just when as adult women, the thought process is different. It's not against anything or another. And we can learn from one another because there are a lot of Gen X is stuck in a lot of our own ways. And it's difficult for us to like change, especially with like new laws or I've seen it. I've seen it amongst myself personally. So I mean, I work in a school where there's so much going on. We always got a lawyer talking to us about one thing or another about changes and how we have to address the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to
Yeah.
explain too much. Just say even with transgender students, you know the things that we have to do to make people feel comfortable just to go to the bathroom today is different.
Yeah.
It's
And,
just
and,
different.
and let me
Like,
also say the Reed saying that being called a Karen is an accusation. Girl, that's the most polite thing that Garcelle could have even said to you. So you ought
yeah.
to be glad that she left it at unconscious Karen, honey.
Yeah, I wish that I do agree with you, Dormicio, is that I wish that Garcelle would be very specific with her because she's going to continue to play dumb if you make comment if you make what she thinks is vague. To say somebody has microaggression, if you don't know what that means, it doesn't compute. If you're saying you have an unconscious bias, she may have heard bias, and that's really it. That's what it feels like because she defends herself because I would have said, can you be specific? Like, what exactly am I doing? And if Garcelle could have mentioned all the words you could have called me as such and such thing, a bully shouldn't have been one because I have not bullied you. All the things when we were having that conversation that you felt defensive or you didn't like what I said, you said I was yelling at you when I wasn't. Or the fact that you said that I attacked you. And so that has to be clear. She's saying something when she feels some kind of way, whatever that
The Reed
emotion is.
and the Reed always, to me, tends to exaggerate what Garcelle says.
Correct. That's what that is. It's like she feels a way, and this is the reality. I'll just say it like this: Garcelle is getting the best of the conversation, and instead of her dealing with that issue, if Garcelle is saying something that stings or hurts, instead of saying, "Why did that hurt? Why are you attacking me?" That's a difference.
Yeah.
And there's the example of just not being emotionally intelligent. She's certainly not. Dorit definitely isn't because she responds like a victim. Why are you going to hurt me? That's how she's going to respond. Somebody help. It's the same. It's literally called white fragility. Fragility. Like that's the reason why so many black men have been hung, have been killed because somebody feels offended against something. Somebody said hi, somebody brushed against you, somebody walked past you, and this guy is to blame.
Yeah. And
And
it
now we gotta save them. Like the white women have been put on a pedestal, and a lot of them are victims.
yeah.
They have a victim mentality, and
And a
that
lot of the problem is Dorit doesn't see Garcelle as her equal. So
she
and
does.
she shows it.
Yeah, she
Even though
does.
Garcia is much more of an icon than Dorit will ever be, and more relevant than Dorit will ever be. So it's really baffling to me. It's just like, girl, you really ain't got nothing on Garcelle. Like, if you leave the show today, no one's gonna think about you. If Garcelle leaves the show, we're still gonna talk about her. Simple.
I mean,
Like,
I'm
Garcelle is
not
still
gonna.
gonna be Garcelle is still gonna be Garcelle Beauvais, is what I'm saying at the end of the
Oh,
day.
okay.
Like, Garcelle can leave the show and be just fine. Dorit
And we'll
needs the
see her
show.
in work. She's working.
Yes.
She's a working actor.
Like,
So yeah, I
she is
got
an actress and she is
you.
a good actress, actually.
Yeah,
She's not a mediocre one. So it's
right.
like I said, like we're Garcelle can leave the show and she's still gonna be forever Garcelle Beauvais. Even like she's gonna be known forever just off Jamie Foxx. Literally.
Correct.
She ain't
Right.
got to do
She
nothing else if
fasting
she don't
forever.
want to.
She fasting
She's
forever.
always gonna be known for that. What do we know Doree for outside of being a housewife? Like nothing. Nothing.
And having a fake
So
accent.
exactly. And
But I know
cosplaying
they
as a
going at
Latino
it because
woman.
what Garcelle said about her still having jewelry after. I know she gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah,
Having
she already
jewelry
said that on Watch What Happens Live, and then Garcelle has been liking different tweets. So the reunion is gonna be good. And I just hope Garcelle keep the same energy that she had at this dinner, and don't let the read run over her because
right.
that's gonna piss me off.
Hey Callie, come on.
And you can also tell that, Erica and them is also kind of staying out of this one. Like how they normally kind of like back up each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like, you know what I'm saying, not really giving the input on this
Okay.
one. And
They
rightfully so.
shouldn't. They shouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole if I was a white woman. In my opinion, I would have asked. That's why I said if you really wanted to know, like for real, because all of us have unconscious biases if you want to keep it real. I know I do. I ain't gonna even
Yeah.
front lie about it. I know that we all have them. Some of us are better at masking them, but if Dorit really wanted to take control of this, she would ask her specific examples because
Well, she did. She did ask for a specific example, and she only gave the one when they were at the table. That's why I said I wish she would have gave
Well,
more than that.
can we clarify though? The fact of the matter is, Garcelle said it started. I feel like it started. We have
Oh
there
yeah,
been
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah,
progressive.
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
she said that. She said we had that conversation where I asked you, are the only people of color, Black and brown people, your children interact with the help, or like no, I don't know how best to say it. And she's like, have we made any improvements? That's why I said it feels like a problem to read because you guys have had conversations and it doesn't seem like there has been any improvement. So that
That's
was
to be
Garcelle's
for
point about
real
bringing that
when
up.
she stopped liking Garcelle. To me, it started right there. And then, well, first of all, I feel like it started when she called her out about being a liar in front of Ericka, acting like she was so
No,
supportive when she really wasn't. And then the people of color as you're working at your house, only thing, put the icing on the cake.
was that
Hi,
last
y'all. Can I
season?
say one thing?
Callie.
Yes.
I didn't know y'all was having a call. I might have came on. But I just thought I would dial in and tell y'all that the reason Dorit isn't getting it from Garcelle,
Mm-hmm.
can you hear me, Joy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's not getting it from Garcelle because she feels attacked by Garcelle. So anything Garcelle says to Dorit sees herself as being
The
under
victim.
fire. She's not
Yeah,
going to have
I agree.
she's not going to have the response. If there's supposed to be a lesson in it to learn, she's not going to get it because Garcelle comes at her too much.
I don't think she
Mm-hmm.
comes at her too much, but I do
She
think she calls her out. You have to remember that I can't even like Dorit. It's not a situation where particularly this season, the situation that they were having in Vegas, Garcelle wasn't talking to her specifically. She was talking to the group. But she is the only one that responded.
And
Garcelle
made it
just
about her.
responded correct because nobody else said anything. Like Ericka is the one that was accused of all of this, and nobody else said anything. It was just, I mean, she started off condescending Dorit by saying, "Get over it. It's been a year."
she
That actually came out of her mouth.
well, that's good. I'm glad she told them to get over it. When are they going to start listening?
I
Callie.
Oh,
mean,
Jesus.
that's kind of like, because I feel like if this was aimed towards Phoenix or Jax, not Jax, but Jay,
Jagger.
whatever her son's name is, start with a J. Phoenix
Jagger.
or the
Joy,
little
Joy.
boy, Jagger. Yes, Jagger. If it was aimed towards them, oh, baby, we would be hearing about this forever.
I
So,
agree.
like,
You still worrying
that's
about the property.
very rude of Dorit to tell her to just, like, get over it.
But
Like,
we be
no.
saying that every time she talk about she got PTSD.
And she don't like that. So it's just like, and girl, it is fake PTSD. Girl, bye. Your husband even calling you out for it. So stop.
If every time Garcelle says something to her and she's not putting out specifics or she's not trying to
No,
close it
okay.
out, well, what do you want Dorit to say?
I don't like that because my thing is there are times where everyone's passive aggressive, but there are a lot of times where Garcelle has been very clear and direct in what she's saying, and instead of taking in Dorit, it's like, what are you trying to say, Garcelle? Garcelle literally said,
Just
"I
say
thought you
it.
said that." Let me
It's
finish.
very rare that Garcelle gets right to the point. It's very
Literally,
rare.
they were
She's
having an
not clear.
argument because Garcelle said, "I feel like you said that to embarrass her," and Dorit is like, "I feel like you're trying to imply that I was trying to attack her," and Garcelle said, "I didn't imply anything. I said that." There have been
Yeah.
plenty of times where Garcelle has said, "You talk too much. I feel like you wouldn't stand up for Sutton." And Dorit is like, "What are you trying to say, Garcelle?" She acts like Garcelle does not know how to speak English.
And there's also been plenty of times that Garcelle has called Dorit out for something that wasn't even an issue, especially when we just heard it out of another person's mouth.
But why did she have those reaction towards those other people?
What other people?
When Kathy, again, example of the whole initial issue back in season 11 with her saying Garcelle throws little darts. What
She
Garcelle
does.
said was one to Dorit's face, even though she tried to make it seem like it wasn't. It was to her face. Number one. Number two, everybody, Kathy literally said the same thing, literally right before Garcelle said it, and she laughed about it. But when Garcelle said it was an issue, I mean, like, come on now, like, it's just hypocrisy at its finest.
Yeah,
Other people have
on
said the
both ends
same
though. On
thing.
both ends, because Garcelle really just needs to back up off of her, in my opinion. She's
Now
never
both
gonna.
ends.
If there's a point she's trying to get across to Dorit that Dorit is doing all this stuff subconsciously, she's not getting through to Dorit with that. She needs to change her approach, or don't talk to her at all. She's the only one calling Dorit out. And so Dorit
Dorit
But
really
is
it's,
the
being
one
That
who's
is
attacked.
true.
And so let's just say, even if
That is
Garcelle was
true.
right with everything she was saying, the way she's bringing it to Dorit, all Dorit see is you're coming at me again.
Oh
She's not going to
Jesus.
learn
God.
anything
Then
from
how
that,
is she
as we
supposed to
can
say it?
see.
okay, but
She
tell
says it
Dorit to be
directly to
quiet
issue.
then, because again, going back to Joy's point, when she was in Vegas, she was not specifically talking to Dorit, and Dorit
You
made it
wasn't.
about her. So again,
That's
it
true.
made Garcelle have to specifically address Dorit because she made it about her. So Dorit needs to also quit making things about her, and then maybe Garcelle wouldn't pinpoint her out because
I
that's
don't know.
what Dorit
I don't
That
know too
does.
is
much about
true.
the.
That
I don't know
is
much about the
true.
Vegas trip because I don't watch it that deeply, but I did catch it last night.
Yeah,
Vegas
Oh,
trip.
that's
huh.
Dorit has to quit doing that too. I mean, I get what you're saying. Your point is valid, but Dorit has to also quit doing that because when you make situations as if it was only specifically aimed towards you, when it wasn't even really about you, it was really about Ericka, then that's gonna make Garcelle specifically pinpoint you out. When Dorit said that, that led to another problem because then they had to address it again later on because Dorit made it about her and
That's
her
true.
feelings, even though it should have been
Hmm.
about Garcelle and Garcelle's feelings. And if anybody should have said something, it should have been Ericka, not Dorit.
You're correct.
Okay. You're incorrect, but I don't feel like arguing because I like you guys today. Peace out, homies. Mhm.
Bye bye.
Y'all go. You go.
Gally Khan says she going bye bye.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, she going. She
But,
going.
but
I'm
yeah,
right. I'm
that,
right.
that's how it ended. That is how it ended. But I do agree with that. Like she does insert herself. It's not
Like
even a, it's
I
it,
remember Denise because you just remind me because even at the what was that the Rena Lip Kit party that
Hmm.
Crystal threw, that whole argument where someone's on Twitter posting how Garcelle screams "F you" at Dorit, and everyone's like, you forget that Dorit was calling her a bully and insistent, and the reason why Dorit was even bringing that up was because she was trying to act like she was there when Ericka, Crystal, and Garcelle were talking, and then Garcelle came back and said, "Oh, you're still talking to Tom," and then Dorit ran with that, and made it her issue.
Again, inserting herself, literally study trying to make it a thing, even though Ericka and Crystal had already said that Garcelle was not present for the conversation of not bringing it back to the
Dorit
group. They
literally said,
both
"What you
said
did
that.
in Palm
Ericka let
Springs."
it go. So it's just like, why are you, like Garcelle said, why are you study trying to like make this a thing? Like you're trying to make me out to be like this person, even though we've two people that was there and you weren't already said that she didn't hear it. So
Mhm.
she brought it up because she thought, I mean, those are Erica's friends. So she thought it was okay to say that because they are very close to Ericka. So she thought it was okay to say that. She wasn't there when Crystal Ericka had the private conversation of not bringing it up to the group, even though it was on camera. So that was really stupid, anyways. But she wasn't there, and they made that known, both of them. So, why are you study trying to make fetch happen to read? Like you're trying
And
to, like, make it a thing when it really isn't, and it's getting tired at this point. Like I said, the consistently inserts herself over and over and over again, which makes the Garcelle have to call her out on it or have to address her specifically because she's the only one making it a thing. Anytime Garcelle says something, Dorit is the first person to try to come and challenge her.
I don't know if this is, too far, but because some people are like, oh, I feel like Garcelle's being dramatic when she said she cried that night and the next day. And when I was listening to them having the conversation at the table, it like makes me feel like Dorit almost like portrays Garcelle as like a scheming Negro. Like, what are you trying to do, Garcelle? What you did in Palm Springs, Garcelle? You're trying to insinuate something. Like, she always like depicts
That's
Garcelle
why
as like,
she asked her, why you keep calling my name?
yeah, it's like she
Yeah.
depicts Garcelle as like some scheming, conniving, and I feel like that's not a good feeling if like you're on television, you're trying to show like a positive side of yourself. And obviously things happen, but this person's always saying like you're
Yeah.
doing something, you're insinuating something. What are you trying to do here? What you did there? It is
Yeah,
to
it's a
me, I
pattern.
think
It's
it's like,
literally
yeah,
a pattern with Dorit. Literally a pattern with Dorit always. And like I was arguing with somebody on Twitter, Kyra, I know you're an avid watcher. Did she pull the race card when Ericka and the son thing was going on? Did she ask her would Ericka have done that if her kid
no.
was white?
And that's why I don't think it's fair to say that, because to me, honestly, I feel like I'm watching ourselves trying to hold back and not try to call everything out and letting people have the space to make mistakes. Because at certain points, she was quiet when I would have not been.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
agree with
true.
that. But I do think moving forward, I would tell her, but I would pick she'd be scared, she'll be start thinking about what she say when she around me.
Yes.
But I would tell her in real, that's an example of microaggression, what you just did. I'm telling you, I would point it out because I don't think it almost has to be corrected in real time. In my opinion, a lot of people are so laser focused. I'm sure y'all have seen it on Twitter or if y'all in the Facebook groups, they're so laser focused on the word. So
Yeah.
they're like, so you
That's
can
like
never,
agitating the crap out of me, the black
yes. So
people.
you can't,
Ooh.
what's wrong with saying attack? That's why I said I don't think it's about the word. It's not the word. If somebody's being attacked, you being attacked. If I just if Garcelle just went to start punching that girl, she would literally be attacked.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no racism in calling out what is. But having a conversation, even with a smile on your face, even if it was a skull, isn't an attack.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
mind you, oh, sorry.
No, go
I was
ahead,
just,
Kyra.
no, I was just gonna say that, like, remember it was the season where it was the reading where she yelled at Garcelle. And
Mhm.
remember, Andy had to ask her about how, like, so the viewer question was kind of like, you called Garcelle a bully, but not Ericka. And then Dorit was trying to explain, well, Garcelle's like incessant, but Ericka's like moments. And everyone was looking at her like,
yeah,
man, Ericka would be snarling at y'all. Ericka's cursed you out multiple times. So what are you
yes,
talking
you're
about?
right.
Like,
Remember, yes, because we said that girl voice sound like James L. Jones, whatever
yeah.
his name was. You're
And I'm
right.
like, you
I
called
remember that.
Garcelle a bully.
Yes.
And again, like as you said, well, to me, like there is a fine line. Sometimes it is words, but it is kind of, and if you're trying to do integrated cast of kind of like, how do we navigate angry and aggressive? The thing about it is, I think you navigate, and it has to be truthful. It has to be actually happening. And so when Dorit is calling Garcelle a bully, and she is not bullying you,
It's
Yeah.
it
not
becomes
appropriate. It's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Pick something else. There are
Yeah.
so many places. Now, she could have said, why do I feel attacked right now? That would have been more appropriate. And then you have a dialogue or a conversation. But she actually said, you attacked me.
Yeah. And it's just
That's
like
that's
she
the
don't even know
issue.
what coming after her is because
No,
it's just
she don't.
like, girl, Garcelle could really be a Kenya and really dig into you every time y'all have a scene. That's why I say
like
she better be glad that Garcelle
it's
does
nice.
have their proximity to whiteness a little bit because
I
she
was
would
gonna
have
say
been
that.
a Nene or a Kenya or anybody from Atlanta, and even anybody from Potomac. She wouldn't last because she wouldn't be able to stand them consistently every time they together getting on her because she don't even know what really the incessant me because Garcelle really don't even be doing what she really could be doing because if it was me, I would be on the read every time we get together.
That's
I
what I
swear.
said. Every
Every
time she's
time.
in real time, in the seconds, I would call her out moving forward. And I don't care. Now you being attacked.
Yeah. Like, first of all, I wouldn't even give
I
Dorit the
told
time
you
of day.
being attacked.
Like, I would straight up be ignoring Dorit, and if she kept on, then I would lay into her. Girl, didn't I say leave me alone? I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you. I don't see it for you, girl. You are microaggressive, and you are just a mess, and I just can't. Like, go on, girl. Go on. If she did that, then Dorit wouldn't know how to act. And if
Yeah.
I was Garcia, I would do that. Like, girl, go on. I ain't got nothing to say to you. Good day. Like Nene used to do Kenya, and then when they used to try to talk to her, keep it put, ignore her. Oh, girl, no, it ain't no hug. Gone on.
Yeah.
It ain't no hug, baby. It ain't no hug. Take your butt on over there somewhere and sit down. For real. Did
But
y'all
yeah,
see the preview for next week? I'm so sick of Anne Marie.
what
Like,
happened
ugh,
next week?
she studied talking about this esophagus thing. Oh, I'm just so sick of her.
I don't. At my, I have, my birthday was it Monday? The first, when it first was. Anyway, I went to a brunch and I was telling my aunts is there, and I have an aunt. She's the one that put me on that I was telling you that comes up with these conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
He was at this table. Anyway, I said, Mama, I've been talking about you to the TV all week. And my all last week, and my auntie said, girl, me too, because we know that my mother has the same condition that Sutton has. And people were like, well, why would you not eat in front of people? You don't eat in front of people. I said, my mama didn't. And it made me think of it because my mother came to my brunch and she orders her food to go. She doesn't like to eat in public restaurants because she literally will vomit. And she has before.
And now Anna Marie on Twitter trying to come after Dr. Nicole. It's like, why you didn't call out Dr. Tiffany? Because she said the same exact thing that Dr. Nicole said. And I'm glad Dr. Nicole paid Anna Marie dust, honey, when she DM'd her, girl, Bob, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You wrong, dead wrong. And we gonna believe an actual physician, a real deal anesthesiologist, board certified over you any day. So goodbye.
Okay. I will be level-headed and say, like, nurses are wonderful and we need them. I think the problem is that this is not coming from a good place and you're a medical professional, so it just looks bad. You're coming from a place of doing someone's dirty work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
You're doing someone's dirty work and putting your reputation on your medical professional reputation on the line for it, girl.
And like I said, we're gonna believe Dr. Nicole and Tiffany over you any day. So,
Who is
girl,
Dr.
bye.
Nicole? Which group is she?
Miami.
Miami.
Miami. Okay.
And
Yeah, I saw her clip like the day after it happened.
She's
but
an
I
anesthesiologist.
I just know it's a real condition. I don't know if Sutton has it, but I think that's it's so rare. My mother and my father had this same.
They said that Sutton has done that in front of them.
Remember, we talked about Joy on the after show.
They say Krista said Sutton literally choked in front of everybody trying to eat.
In Italy, I think, right?
I think they were on one of the trips.
Yeah, I think it was in Italy. They were in like sprinter vans. Like, see, this is how you know people are dirty, because Teddy is the one who brought this up on her show, because she's also doing Kyle's dirty work about Sutton being alcoholic and having eating disorder.
Really?
A girl, she opened there. Oh, she doesn't eat, and she's pretending she drinks her calories. She doesn't eat them, and not knowing that on that same week that they were airing that podcast episode, Crystal was on the after show talking about how, like, no, we were in the sprinter van, there was no camera, and they gave us sandwiches. Someone was trying to eat the sandwich, and she kept having to spit it up. She could not eat the sandwich.
I mean, but Sutton even said that she doesn't want to have the surgery, and that's their right. They don't have to have it just because.
Surgery. It's like,
they have to put you to sleep. My mother has had it twice. The problem is, and she's saying she might have to have it again, because that's why she was packing up her stuff, because if it was open, she would have eaten. But she says that she thinks it's closing again. She's having the same problem. She's like, she didn't want to do it again, but she might have to. All I can tell you is that both of my parents had lost so much weight. First of all, I thought they were sick because of that, and they're not together. My parents are not even together, but my father and my mother had it. My father had it first, and I thought he was lying when he told. I had never heard anything like that before, but when my mama got it like years later, I was like, but they're thin. They're thin.
I just feel like it's inappropriate. It's just like, Emery, how are you going to tell this lady, and this lady is going to the doctor for it? This is not something that Sutton is just saying. Sutton is literally saying, like, she's gone to the doctors for it, and they told her that she needed surgery, and she literally said that she doesn't want it. She literally said that. This is not something that she's making up. So how are you going to tell this lady something? Like, I think she's going to believe her doctors over you, and she's going to listen to her doctors over you, honey. So it's just like, girl, you just need to sit this one out. Like, stop giving your opinion. Like, girl, stop.
It's like, kind of silly, because it could, I mean, although it's not life threatening,
but it can be.
But it could be. But it's not, you can still eat. You're not gonna starve yourself. It's just not fun. My
Yeah.
mama always, that's why she says eating isn't fun. It's something that she has to think about, and she has to think about while she's doing it. Like you can't even talk and eat.
Yeah, I know that has to suck.
Yeah, so she was just like, it's not fun.
I think it's insidious because like that issue can be caused from other things, and so Emery's also implying like that is a symptom of something larger. I mean, like there are people who are just born with small esophagus, and then obviously we don't fully know if it's true or not. But since my brother has it, and he decides to have the surgery, so that sounds like it's hereditary. I can't speak right now.
Yeah,
Hereditary.
hereditary. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like so. Also, you're trying to imply that it's not that she even has this issue; it's a larger problem. Something else is going on.
Yeah, that's
Insinuating that she has an eating disorder like Kyle
And
did.
alcoholic and all that kind of stuff. Because like
Yeah.
alcoholism can do that to you. But actually, so like her brother also has it. So I'm just like,
alcohol can do that to you.
yeah, like alcoholism, and like you can also have like GERD can do that. I don't think it's not Crohn's, but
I was just gonna say that ain't my mother's issue because I don't know if y'all remember, my parents are both in recovery, so they had drank or used drugs since I was a tot.
Yeah, it can happen, but also like your other autoimmune disease can make it happen, or you can just be born that way. So again, I just think it just seems gross for you to be like, no, it's not that you're just born with it. Something else is going on.
Yeah, I got.
All I know is, honey, this reunion is gonna be very interesting.
It better be, because we got to handle Dorit and Anne-Marie and Kyle.
Why isn't anybody talking about Kyle and his girl? I'm so confused. Like, what kind of show is this?
Well, I think it's supposed to start happening.
Yeah,
because I feel like maybe they haven't been like out and about, but like Dorit has been noticing it because Dorit hasn't been going on the trips and hanging out, all that kind of stuff. So she's more at the forefront of seeing the relationship change. But the preview next episode, they're asking about kissing girls or going out with girls.
Yeah, and Kyle was like, yes.
I didn't see the next thing, but I read that makes sense. I saw a tweet that said, "Have you ever kissed a girl before?" Kyle, no. Date a girl?
It was
Kyle said yes. That was in the preview.
Said, would you ever date a girl? And Kyle said, yeah, I would. And I didn't know where it came from, but that's thinking about it. That's where it probably came.
Yeah, that's the preview. Yeah,
and you can also tell just from Anna Marie's study talking about that, like she was talking to Garcelle and Crystal. You can see it on Crystal's face just from that specific situation. Not even counting the other stuff that they're going to get into it about later. Crystal don't see it for her. You can tell. You can see the look on Crystal's face when she was saying all of that. Crystal was like, girl, like you can see it. Like Crystal don't see it for her at all. So that's why I'm not surprised that they get into it the way that they do. Because you can tell. You can see it on Crystal's face like she ain't here for her at all. And rightfully so. I don't think Garcelle is either. They both was like, girl, like, let it go.
Because it's weird.
Like, you don't even know something like that to be doing all that. That's what the real thing is for me. It's like you don't even know this lady like that. You just met these group of girls, and even with you just meeting them, you're not even around like that. You've missed several group. You missed group. You wasn't at Taco Tuesday. Like, you haven't been.
I wonder why she wasn't at Taco Tuesday.
Remember, she was in Hawaii. I don't know why you would schedule to go to Hawaii at this time, but yes.
Oh well.
Well, all right, y'all. I think that's pretty much
it.
So, but I guess we're gonna see what's coming up. I think this week, I know we'll be back on probably Sunday to do Huntsville. And our shows all come back on this week. Yeah. Both Married to Medicine on Sunday and Potomac. I can't remember where everything is. I think I saw a clip of Potomac of Wendy. There's a woe is me. Now she's the victim. It's going to be talking about her mother in the hospital. So now we shouldn't have been talking about her mama. Aneka shouldn't have been talking about her mama. That's where I think she's going with this, but we gonna see.
I'm just tired of it.
It's different.
It is, but I am tired of it.
I'm tired of the same people not
fighting.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I see it a little different. And I'm a little curious, so
It was
whenever
cool. It was
whenever
cool.
they
Don't get me
start
wrong.
talking about stuff, I start Googling it and trying to learn what it
Yeah.
is. So I don't mind that kind of stuff
Yeah,
at all.
I mean it was cool, but it's like, you know what I'm saying. Like, okay, we like almost on episode what, like 8, 9. Like,
I
let's
think
kind of
it's
move on. Like, I kind of
yeah.
want to see what me and Karen was getting into it about. Like, you know, let's kind of wrap this up and get on to something
It
else.
seemed like next season gonna be better than this one because Mia is acting up in these streets.
Yeah, and somebody definitely gonna talk about it. It's just who.
Somebody gonna talk about it on this
I'm
show?
saying like next week. I mean not next week, but next season. Somebody's gonna talk about it. Now the question is who.
Well, they ain't even filmed. She'll be with him. Andy, we already know it's not gonna be an issue because, or I ain't gonna say not be an issue, but who cares? Like I
Somebody's
don't.
gonna gossip about it though. Somebody's gonna make it a thing. You know this. Somebody is.
She said that he would be on the show.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, you know, somebody's gonna do it. Now, depending on who it is, that's neither here. I can see Ashley doing it. I can even see Giselle doing it or Karen. Like somebody's gonna make it a thing next season and question her and all of that. Somebody's gonna say
I
something.
don't think anybody sees that like that though. Although she's clearly married and they may mention and kiki about it, I don't think that's going to be an issue for them girls. I don't think anybody saw her like it's not like she's the hurt one, I guess what I'm saying. You know, we have women have a double standard. If this was a situation that her husband was cheating on her, it would be a bigger scandal, but she's doing the cheating. So, and we already know that her husband has opened up their bedroom. And because he has, her and her new boyfriend is walking through it. That's just, I don't think it's going to be the scandal that you're like, I could see Candace throwing in her face, somebody throwing it in her face, but I don't think that's going to be an issue because I don't think Mia has an emotional care like that because she's happy. And it's a double standard. Women can be, we can leave at, because she's leaving on her own. This isn't a situation where her husband did something and she acting out. And we only victim. She's there's a raised fist to her. That should show you how biased we are in this society. But if her husband was cheating, it would be a scandal.
Do you think the same cast is gonna come back next season?
I hope not. I tell you one person who definitely needs to leave, but if 2 left, I think it would be a good cast. You have to be able to get along with your cast members. That has to happen. I mean, I don't care how ugly a season is from one season to another. Almost every cast ends with we're gonna try to do better next year, even if it's a lie. I mean, look at all of the stuff that happened on Jersey and other places. We holding on to grudges. It don't look good. Nene used to do that too. I love Nene. She, to me, is the housewife, not just one. But it used to irritate me when she did that too. Like you have to spend a season mad, but you can't go 2 seasons. Like you just can't do that. You have it's such a division. And the reality TV works when it's a real friend group. Beverly Hills has been working because it's a genuine friend group.
Yeah, because even the Garcelle and Derek can still
correct. They can still coexist and still talk. Now I will say I'll give both Wendy and I guess a little of Giselle. They're not talking, but they're not friendly either.
Yeah.
But
like they can
have
still sit in the same group and
correct.
acknowledge each other and all of that. Yeah. It's only really just Giselle and Candace that just seem like they can't move forward. Them the only two. Really.
It's not just Giselle and Candace. It's also Candace and Robin.
But I think Robin and Candace can come back though. They can come back.
I'm just saying they're not though. It's to me, one of them have to go. Either Candace or Wendy has to go. I don't know which one. my head
I
said
want
Wendy,
Robin or Giselle to go. I'm
but
okay with one or the other, but one of them dudes to go.
that's
And
not
I
going to
believe
help
it
with
needs
the
to be
divide.
really
You're
Giselle.
looking
Robin
at it
has a
because of who you
storyline.
don't like. I'm
Robin.
talking about the divide. One of them have to
I
go.
just feel like Giselle really
One of
don't
the
talk about
other will
nothing.
make their way back to the group. Both
Giselle
of
don't
them
be talking
together
about
have a
nothing. Robin at
bond.
least has a storyline, regardless of whether I
Robin
care
is
for
the
it.
storyline. Robin has been
It-
the only person we have talked about on repeat
Well,
outside of
that's what he
Nick and Lynn.
said. That's what
We
he said.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
no,
saying
but I'm
Giselle can
saying,
go because Giselle ain't talking about nothing and
but
hasn't for
that
like the past
ain't
couple of.
none of them talking about none. If you
But
want to
like,
be honest, Robin is literally the only one that has a current storyline. Nobody else has a storyline. Like for real. Because even Wendy and Aneka, they're just reacting off of each other. Nobody has a storyline that's playing out. We saw one scene of Wendy and what she trying to do. We saw one. We know that Giselle's children are going to school. I don't know what Karen doing. I can't remember. Aneka trying to
trying to
have.
do her
We're
family
in
house or
episode
something.
8, and we've only seen one scenes of each of these to create a story. None of them have a storyline outside of Robin, so it's not just Giselle.
But
It's
I'm
my
saying
point.
she's like the least interesting
No,
out
she's
of
not. I
everybody.
think Giselle finally
Exactly,
she
Carl.
needs to have a season where she's letting other people talk.
But
Giselle has been carrying this show on her back. Let's keep it real. You ain't gotta like her. You can call her whatever.
I
But
mean, I
when
thought
they're
she should have
sitting
been
in a group
gone
of
when she was
women
like
and there's
being
some rumors.
active.
Wait
I
a minute,
still haven't ever found Giselle
Demetrio,
entertaining.
hold on. When she's sitting in a group of women and all of those women are together, I ain't saying Giselle won't do no sneak stuff behind your back, but Giselle is the only one that's going to put stuff on the table. As a matter of fact, she's the only one that even recognized it. And we've seen it in action where they could be all sitting at the table and everybody quiet and eating, and Giselle would say, okay,
Okay,
y'all good?
I
Y'all
mean,
good?
Ashley
Y'all
could do
good?
that, child. We
What's
don't
so
need Giselle. Ashley could
you
do that just fine.
absolutely need a Giselle.
Ashley would be
Because
just fine doing that on her own.
they will avoid. They're not.
Ashley would get it started. We don't
But
need
she
Giselle.
hasn't. You're sitting there saying it, but she hasn't. The only
Ashley have
person
definitely got stuff
I'm gonna go
started.
fry my pork chops.
You say what, Kyra? Oh,
she frying some hog. Anyway, it's time to go.
okay.
We've been on here for an hour and a half. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the episode I did. Hopefully we'll be back Sunday to do Huntsville. I don't think we're doing Bell Collective. Bell Collective part 1 comes on tonight, and they straight supposed to be fighting, by the way. I mean, for real, for real. Somebody said in our good clothes. I was cracking.
I don't think they was fighting. I think they were
Oh no,
about
something
to.
does. Did you see the preview?
Yeah, but I don't think nobody actually went to blows. I think they were about to, but
Oh yeah. I don't know if anybody, but you have
I
to
don't really
see
watch that like that though. Anyway, but I be seeing the little
Letitia
clips.
standing over Latrice call. I mean, somebody posted that. Akeisha posted it. It's a behind the scenes video. I don't know if it was part of the preview or not because I haven't seen the preview. But when I say behind the scenes, it's behind the producers. You see the cameraman and everything, and they're walking off stage. And Letitia standing over Latrice, calling her a dirty, insecure B. This is supposed to be off camera, but it ain't off camera. Because everybody else is walking off the stage. So I don't know if that happens tonight. But their dynamic is messed up.
Are we
too.
gonna be here Monday for Potomac and Marriage and Medicine?
Hopefully.
Okay.
I hope that I haven't talked to the other ladies, but that's the plan. We'll know definitely Sunday.
All righty then.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.
Peace out, y'all. Bye. Have a good weekend. Oh, I gotta end.